Hey everybody, Jay here from Modern Mississauga, and we are with the first ever Genesis G70 sports sedan. So we'll start off up front. I put the four-way flashers on just to show you the turn signals, and they are LEDs, 4 bars, wider at the base, thinner at the top. 2 lines here are your day runners, LEDs, and obviously you can see your regular lights beside that as well. And there's a good look at the front end. These are adaptive headlights, specifically on the 2.0 Prestige. 2.0 is a 2.0 liter engine versus the 3.3. On the 2.0 ladder, there are 4 options. There's Advanced, Sport, Elite, and then this one, which is Prestige. Prestige has the adaptive cornering headlights, which mean, in pretty obvious terms, that the headlights bend a little bit to give you a better vision around corners. I like the front end. It looks a little Lexus-ish to me as far as their spindle grille goes. Not enough that it's a blatant ripoff, but there is enough separation between what Genesis has done and Lexus to make it stand out. I like the look. It's a very nice, luxurious look to it, which is what you'd find on the luxury car lines. Also up here, it's nicely done. You can't notice it too well. Obviously, you can notice it right here because I'm so close. But there is your sensor shield right there. But if I back up, you can't really notice it all that much if you happen to watch the last 10 seconds of video. Anyways, going around the side of the car, tires up front are a little different from the tires in the rear. So up front, it's 225 40 19. In the rear, a little bigger, 255 35 19. And let's back up, and there's a good side profile of the car. I like the look of it, and it's very sleek, it's modern, no excessive creases or overly aggressive styling. It's nice, it's subtle, it's perfect for the luxury sports sedan market. Let's go around to the rear of the car. So again, with the 4 ways on, you see your tail light or your rear signals, as well as kind of a good look. It's not quite dark outside yet, but you can see the pattern of the rear lights right there. One thing I'm a little iffy on is the exhaust, because it's not balanced. There's a twin tailpipe there, but there's nothing there, and I don't know. I kind of like the symmetrical look, personally speaking, and I think they should have just made it one on each side. My 2 cents about it anyway. So there's your badging for a G70, and there is the logo, and there is the H-Track, which is our all-wheel drive, and 2.0T for 2.0 liter engine with a turbo. So that pretty much wraps up the outside. I'll give you a look at the passenger side profile, because it's the same as the driver's side, but a little less light, so it's a little darker. Anyways, good styling, good looks overall. Very nice, sleek, and modern design. That'll wrap up the outside. We'll be right back with a look at the inside with the first ever 2019 Genesis G70. And we're back with the inside. Look at the first ever Genesis G70 luxury sedan. And open the trunk. Opens automatically, no hands. Very cool. Lots of trunk space. And there, one thing that's weird is there is no automatic close button, which there usually is there. Instead, you got to pull your fingers underneath. Oops. And give it a close. So automatic open, not automatic close. Kind of quirky for me. Let's look at the back seats after I unlock the door, which is right there. So pretty spacious, very, very cool quilted patterns here, and on the insides of the doors. 3-staged heated seats, very cool. And again, this is the 2.0 Prestige trim. It's the top of the line on the Prestige, on the 2.0 liter engine. There's a look up front of your cabin as far as what the driver sees. Pretty sharp looking. Let's go inside and take a better look. So quilted pattern over there, 15-speaker Lexicon sound system. There's the Lexicon logo right there. All your standard options, or your controls are there. 2 different options for memory for your seats. So starting here is your 8-inch. Oops, lost my notes. Got the back. Sorry. There's your 8-inch touchscreen. A little quirky thing for me is how the memory settings work on here versus there it is, the steering wheel. So oops, let's go back. All right, so memory 4, memory 3, and I want to go from 30 to 39. I'm going to push up. I want 39 to 38, up. There you go. Nice and easy, right? If you go to the home screen, I'm at 38, which is setting number 2. 39 should be my next one if I go down. 34 if I go up. Let's go back home. If I go up 1, takes me to preset 3, up 4, up 5, which is weird because I want to go down the list, not up the list. So just a little bit of a disconnect between toggling through memory radio stations here versus here. More of a minor inconvenience, no big deal. You'll get used to it fairly quickly. Everything else is so easy to use, and I've always liked the Hyundai/Kia/Genesis layout for their infotainment system. Very, very cool, very easy to use. Very, very nicely responsive screen as well. Your climate controls show up there, and I'm just going to toggle between that. That's your levels, and you get your temperatures, and it's very hot, so I'm going to keep it on low, and directions as well. Pretty obvious stuff. Good combinations of hard touch buttons and dials. There are your heated seats. There are your cooled seats, 3 stages for each. Heated steering wheel, 2 stages. Very cool because not everyone has the same sensitivity to heat as the next person does. So I like that Hyundai did that. 12 volt auxiliary USB wireless charger. If you have an iPhone, out of luck. At least an iPhone 6 anyway. Close it up for a bit of privacy. Very nice. Kind of a dead space here, but I'd like them to have done something. Again, personally speaking, I don't like the gear shift control at all. It's kind of silly how park is a button, and then you push up for reverse, and then you can just push backwards for drive, and then forward for neutral. Yeah, I don't like it. Just, I know they're trying to be different and stand out, but just I don't think this was the right way to do it. Give me the PRND, just go nice and classic as far as that goes, as opposed to the actual button. But hey, you know what? That's my 2 cents on it. You got 5 drive modes as we quickly go on to something else. So just toggle left, toggle right, nice and easy. Eco and comfort and sport and custom, and for some reason, if you don't want to look there, same things are here. Sport, comfort, eco, and smart as well. I love that you can put the automatic start stop option on or off, because if you're in traffic and you're going and you're stopping and you're, oops, there's a hair there, going and stopping, it's nice to be able to manually shut that off. Really like that. Electronic parking brake right there. It's a space saver, and that's just what it is. A couple of cup holders. We're going to open up the armrest. You got a fair bit of space in there as well. Another USB port there. All right, so we've been over the heated seats, the cool seats, the 8-inch display. Here's a 7-inch display. I've racked up 1,570 kilometers over a little over a week of driving here to Montreal. I'm back on a bunch of stuff around Mississauga. The car is handled very, very well. Very happy with it. I've balanced between all 5 drive modes. And highway for me, eco is the way to go. Putting around in the city, comfort, and if you really want to just get that little bit more of responsiveness, you're going to jump over, and I'll show you right here, into the sport mode. Power-wise, let's just take a look at that again, because it's a good backdrop for it. There you go. Power-wise, we have, what do we have? So it's a 2.0 turbocharged engine, 252 horse, 260 torque, all-wheel drive, 8-speed automatic. You do have paddle shifters. There they are. Sorry, I just lost it for a sec. There's your plus, and there is your downshifting. Pretty responsive. You know, you'll never shift as fast as the car does, but it's still kind of cool to go through the motions of it as well. And when you're in sport mode, your dash goes a little on the green side, red side, sorry, eco's on the green side. I think that wraps it up for the inside. A couple of other quick things. I find the belt line to be a little high, and I sit all the way up because my upper body's short, and I sit all the way back because my legs are long. I've got weird proportions. But yeah, just I find the belt line to be a little high. They could have dropped it like an inch or so. Just there's a good look at the passenger side door, and just gives you the good proportions there as far as how thick the door is from the window to the bottom of the door, and how not short, but like just how not as tall the window is. Another weird quirky thing is the B pillar is kind of right in my line of sight for my over the shoulder check, and that's exactly what I see when I turn around. So just, you know, I lean forward a touch and then crank my head back a little bit more, and that gets me that. But if I just do a quick turn, that's what I get. But you know, that's okay. It's not everyone has the same body as me. That's probably a good thing. Down here we have some safety stuff. You have your blind spot, your lane keep, automatic trunk, and gas. Those are not safety options. So yeah, these two are. As far as safety options go, blind spot, lane keep assist, rear cross traffic alert, lane departure warning, front collision warning, and driver alert. So if you're doing this a little bit and then doing that and then doing this for whatever reason, a little coffee cup comes up in the middle saying consider taking a break. So safety first, right? Safety first. Genesis floor mats. Almost forgot what those were called for a second. I think I mentioned it's got 15 speakers. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7. Anyways, there's 15 speakers, and Lexicon system sounds absolutely wonderful. I think I've gone on enough about this. Did I mention Napa leather? Nope, it's got Napa leather, and it is so comfortable. Very well done. 14-way driver's seat, 12 ways passenger seat power. Heads-up display. I think you can see that little green spot right at the end of my finger right there. You can actually change the colors, which is very cool of Genesis to do. It's I believe it's red, white, and green as far as colors go. And you have your blind spot monitoring info that comes up there as well. Navigation stuff, and it's a very nicely laid out system. I'm not a big fan personally, but I just put it on for the sake of the review. Okay, there's a steering wheel. There's a good look at it, and my feet. Let's get my feet out of there. No one wants to see that. Nice thin-ish steering wheel. Very good feel to it. I didn't mind driving it 1,570 kilometers worth. All right, we'll be right back with a look at the driving portion of the first ever G70 Genesis luxury sports sedan. All right, we're back with the in-car portion of the first ever Genesis G70 luxury sports sedan. So just before we get going, power-wise, it is the 2.0 Prestige, which is the top of the 2.0 trim ladder. 252 horse, 260 pound-feet of torque, all-wheel drive, 4-cylinder, 8-speed automatic. Yep, so let's get going. Again, with your gear shift, kind of weird because you have to push up to go in reverse, but you know, whatever. That's just how they make it. So as far as driving goes, I've spent about a week with the car, and I've done about 1,600 kilometers. And when I first got in, it was comfortable. It just had that really high belt line, and it took a little bit of driving, but I did finally get used to it. And you know, it's fine now. I don't have any real big issues with it. You know, it's still a little weird if I put my arm on the sill and it sits higher up and it kind of points downwards. But you know, no one's got the same body shape as me, and that's okay. As far as driving the car itself goes, it's very quick, and I know there's a 3.3 V6 out there with even more horsepower and torque, but if I were to pick one of these up, I would go for this specific trim, the 2.0 Prestige. It corners well, it handles well, the driving feel is wonderful, and you know, now that I've become accustomed to the car, the driving position itself and the seat comfort and everything else that goes along with that are very comfortable for me now. I like that there's a nice thin-ish steering wheel. It's not kind of big and beefy like some of Genesis competitors go. As far as operating your 8-inch touchscreen and your HVAC controls and all that, I said it, I think, in the interior portion, but Hyundai/Kia/Genesis do a tremendous job of making it very driver friendly. Drive modes, I'm in Eco now. You just pop it over one to the right, and that's how you jump into comfort. And there's a lot of power in the comfort mode, even more so in sport, but I think for primarily urban driving in and out of Mississauga or whatever city you happen to be in, you'll live either in the comfort or the eco mode primarily. And yes, there's the smart mode as well as the custom mode. You know, maybe some people might hang out there. I think the comfort mode does everything that it needs to as far as giving you a good balance of power and fuel efficiency as well. Turning radius is great. I spend a lot of time in urban areas and having to do you know, some lane changing and maneuvering around stop trucks and delivery trucks and whatnot. And the turning radius is great. The cabin is really quiet, considering, you know, it's got that turbocharged 4, and it growls a little bit when you actually get up and do your thing with it, like when you stomp down on the gas, and it's relatively quiet. You know, it is a luxury car after all, and you know, that's definitely something that luxury buyers of the luxury market want. You know, they don't want to have a lot of sound bleeding in unless it's being channeled in from the tailpipes, and that's what you're into. But for this specific this specific car, the Genesis G70, it's very quiet in the cabin. Fit and finish is very, very, very nice, and you know, I like a lot of things about it. You know, the quilted leather at the inside of the doors, you don't really see it all that much because you're looking straight when you're driving. But when you open the door and close the door, it definitely is a very, very nice touch. And everything is as it should be with the G70, and that's what I like about it. I like the oversized sunroof as well. You know, it's, as I said before, it's not quite a panoramic sunroof. I don't really think that Genesis needed to do that with the G70 2.0 Prestige. Just a quick side note, I just did a full U-turn between two regular size streets, and the Genesis did it perfectly. No second or third guessing or whatnot, or readjusting. Yeah, so as far as driving impressions go, there's lots of pickup. It's a very smooth ride. You can 5 selections of customizable drive modes for you. Everything's easy. Creature comforts are all here. There's really not much to complain about as far as the inside goes. For me, yes, the door, the belt line's a little high for my specific body style, and the B pillar is a little bit in the way for my over-the-shoulder checks. But you know what? Aside from that, it's fine. One other quick thing before we wrap this up: there is a very cool feature called I don't know if it's called coasting, but when you're in eco mode, and right now I'm doing 80 getting on a highway, and I'm creeping up to around 2,000 RPM, and I'm not going to take my foot off the gas now, but once I straighten out I will. What it does, I'm not sure if you can really see it with the video here, I'll try it now. The RPMs, yeah, it's not going to do it now. Anyways, the RPMs drop down to just under 1,000, and it feels like a couple of the cylinders deactivate. Yeah, right now, so I don't know if you can see it, but the RPMs dropped right down to just under 1,000, and it says the word coasting right at the top above the digital speedometer. And it's a cool way to save gas, especially if you're going downhill somewhere. And it works as low as, I believe, 60 kilometers an hour, because I did try it out on regular city roads, as well as obviously on the highway. Yeah, so cool feature to save gas, even more gas. Fuel efficiency wise, overall, I'm at 9.0, and that's with over 1,600 kilometers. And that's not too bad. I think the fuel efficiency figures are averaging around 9, maybe mid 9s for this, as far as what's on the Genesis Canada website. I think it's 11 in the city, 11 in the city, 8 on the highway. You know, as soon as I come to this stop, I will take a quick look at my sheet and let you know the exact figures. And there we are. So the exact figures for fuel efficiency are 11.5 city, 8.7 highway, 10.3 combined for both. So not too bad. A lot of my driving was highway driving, about 1,200 kilometers worth, so that's how my average ended up so low. Anyways, that wraps up the in-car portion. First ever Genesis G70 luxury sport sedan, 2019 model year. It's been great. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section. I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next review.